All right, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash, the honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All through the Spirit. All right, I just wanted to go into this topic. All right, of the reason being why lately there's been so many different bugged out philosophies coming out more and more. All right, different different people popping up claiming to be messengers or prophets of the Lord, when really they're just spewing madness. Okay, but it's all what? It's all part of prophecy. Okay, to let you know that we also in the last days because, well, matter of fact, I'll pull it up real quick. Okay, because even in the book of Peter, it lets you know that this was gonna happen. All right, start off with that. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 3. All right, it says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days, all right, scoffers walking after their own lusts. All right, and that's what you see going on. All right, more and more, showing you that what we're nearing the last seconds of these last days. Okay, you have scoffers coming after their own lusts. It says what? And saying, where is the promise of his coming? All right, for since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. Okay, so they're basically saying, look, man, what you saying? The Lord says he's gonna come back, blah blah blah. Where's he at? You know, he ain't coming back, man. You see how long it's been? All right, everything is going. The prophets, Peter, all the apostles, Abraham, all them, they waited, but they dead. Okay, and everything is just back to the way it was. Nothing is happening because what? Number one, they have been blinded, so they can't see. All right, they don't have the spiritual eyes to see the prophecies that are going on. All right, and number two, they're just that's their lot. Okay, that's the spirit that the Lord has subjected them onto. Okay, all to what? Fulfill prophecy and to also show you that we're in the last days. So really, these people coming out saying Job's an Edomite and this and that and Edomites can be saved and all this madness that's coming out is all because it's been ordained to happen. So it's only a fulfillment of prophecy, just like you would see they'll come out and say, oh, the new info on the mark of the beast. That's prophecy. All right. And these scoffers and these people with their diverse doctrines are also part of prophecy. All right. They've been set up to do what they're doing now. Okay. Whether they know it or not, they've been set up to do so. Okay. So yeah, of course, sometimes you get mad, but at the end of the day, it's been set to happen. All right. And so you know what? And really the main purpose for why the Lord did that is so what? The truth can be more scarce. All right. The Lord is putting more now think of it like this. Let's say the truth is like one man, all right, standing there. And a while back you would be able to see him clearly, like, okay, all right, let me see what this guy's about. But now what the Lord is doing is he's putting a lie, which would be another man, stand right next to the truth. Then the next person will stand in front of that guy. Then the next person will stand on the other side. And so now you're just having different dudes pop up to block that view of the truth. Okay, so it's making it more difficult and it makes it much more easy, all right, for you to fall or get or miss the truth and end up in a bugged out philosophy or doctrine. If the Lord doesn't guide you spiritually, all right, to the correct doctrine, there's so many other bugged out philosophies out here that you will get caught up. All right, and the Lord is doing that purposely because what? The elect are almost woken up. The Lord does not want any excess people. The Lord does not want a non-elect within His truth. Okay, to the point of gaining salvation. Of course, you're gonna have sellouts and so on and so forth. But for the main part, if the Lord is not with you, you're gonna be caught up. All right, by every wind of doctrine, by these false philosophies. All right, and then it makes the truth that much more special because the closer and closer we get to the end, the more and more scarce it becomes, to the point where we have that famine of the word where boom, it's over. All right, so this is Matthew chapter 7 verse 13. It says, enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. Okay, and many there be which go in thereat. That's why you have so many people in places like IUIC and the Christian church and all these other philosophies, primarily being Israelites, but they've been led, all right, through that wide and broad gate, okay, that leads to destruction. Because nobody, the scriptures tell you, which I'll pull it up in a second, how narrow, all right, and how tough it is to go through that straight gate. So nobody wants to go through that, man. They want to take the easy way. And ultimately, if the Lord didn't put the spirit on you to keep enduring, it doesn't matter what you do, you're not gonna make it. All right, you would only be able to go so far, without the Lord, without that spirit, because the elect have the spirit to go all the way. All right, to risk it all, because it only gets tougher and tougher and tougher. So if you're putting on an act, you can only act for so long. All right, this truth is something that you have to sincerely be in it to be able to make it. Because if you're sincerely in it, you're willing to give it all you got. Okay, so it says, beware of false prophets. Oh, matter of fact, Salah, verse 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So using common sense, this should tell you that, hold on, the truth, or the people who are going to have the truth, they're not going to be the biggest people in the world, making the most money, the most famous, in a good way. Because here it is, it says there be few that find it. Nobody wants to go through the straight gate. But what? Everybody wants to go through that wide gate that leads to destruction. Like I said before, Christianity and all these different Catholic and all that stuff. All right. It says, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Okay, and that's really the mindset of these false prophets out here, man. They'll entice you with all different ways and beguile you like the serpent beguiled Eve. But what? It was to their destruction, really to our downfall. Okay, and that's what these false prophets are set up for. Okay, so that's why, man, for us who are in this truth with the correct doctrine, we have to thank the Lord always and do our best to please Him, so He can keep us here. Because once you fall out, man, it's if the Lord is not with you, it's damn near impossible to get back in. Okay, so I'll get this next precept here. Matter of fact, let me get this one first. This is 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 6. It says, wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, precious, chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. That chief cornerstone is talking about Yahushua, all right, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It says, unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. All right, that's talking about the elect. The Yahushua is very precious to the elect. Okay, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner, and a stone of stumbling, and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. You see? So they were set up, appointed to be disobedient. They were set up to stumble at the truth, to stumble at the Lord when He first came, all right, 2,000 years ago, roughly around over 2,000 years ago, okay, and also through this word, all right, they are set up to stumble at it. Okay, so that's the beautiful thing about this truth, man. You cannot slip or sneak your way in here. If the Lord does not allow you to come in here, you're not. It's gonna be a stumbling block to you. Here it is. That's how bad the Lord is, where He can make the truth a stumbling block to you, where it's not. You can't see it. It's like it's man. It's crazy, man. Okay, but to somebody who's obedient, all right, the Lord will make that what precious. Okay, a precious. And it's gonna be visible. It's gonna be clear, like you just turn on all the lights in the world, okay? And it's gonna click just like that, and that's how you know that the Lord wants you to be a part of it, okay? But once again, all this is set up so what the Lord can weed out those He doesn't want, all right? And He's made it where it's all faith based and spiritual, so nobody can you can't fake it or sneak your way in. All right, so I'll get this last precept. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, 7th chapter, starting at the 6th verse, just to get to the point. It says, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Which really spiritually, this city represents the kingdom, represents salvation. All right. So it says, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. Now you know how they have those little bridges, all right, and those areas where tourists go on, where it's like it has little plaques on it, and then it's very shaky and it's a high area. Just imagine something like that, where it's so small that only one person could go on it at once. Okay, and if you fall, man, you got fire in the right, you got water on the left, you gonna die. That's really how scary it is, and that's why if the Lord didn't give you the spirit, you're not gonna have the heart to be able to go through it. All right, it says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Okay, and this is really the main reason why a lot of people are not in the truth. A lot of people are not in this truth, and really it's spiritual, because people are not in this truth physically, and people are not in the truth spiritually. You have people who might be, all right, amongst the congregation, all right, of men who are teaching the truth, but sincerely they're not in the truth. you know they're not in the truth. The same people who look at others who are outside, their congregation or whatnot, and look at them some type of way, they themselves are not in the truth, as in they're not doing this sincerely. Okay, so really they're also taking that broad gate. They're not taking that narrow path. Because it's more than just knowing the correct doctrine. The Lord looks at your heart. Do you sincerely believe it? Do you apply it to your life? Are you in it for the right reason? Because you can be in it. The scriptures say many are called, but few are chosen. You can be called, okay? You can start walking down that narrow path, but who's to say you're gonna make it to the end? Who's to say you're gonna make it across? Okay, here it is. Lord, have a low wind blow, and it'll push you into the fire or push you into the water. All right. So verse 9, it says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, all right, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive the inheritance? Notice it says the danger set before it, because in order for us to get the kingdom, we're going through a lot, man. Now and through the time of Jacob's trouble, through the hour of temptation, through the time of persecution and demonization, okay, and even in our past lives, man. All of that is part of that danger that's set before the kingdom, man. Because the kingdom was given to us for inheritance and is there, but we have to get there to get it. So if we don't make it through this, how are we going to receive that inheritance? If you don't cross the path, how are you going to get? You want the kingdom, but you don't want to cross. You don't want to go on the path that leads to it. Then you're not going to get. How are you going to get it? Okay, but the Lord purposely made it that way, where to the elect, it's so precious that they're not seeing the fire, they're not seeing the water. All they're seeing is the kingdom in front of them, and that's where they're headed. Okay, to the point where they're not scared, man. All right, they're following that. They stick. And matter of fact, I'll just close it out with this precept. All right, and because the way to make it, all right, through that narrow gate, all right, is by 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 14. All right, it says, but continue thou matter of fact, I start at verse 12. It says, yea, and all that will live godly in Yahushua HaMashiach shall suffer persecution. Okay, so we're gonna suffer that persecution. That's also part of the fire being on the right and the water on the left, part of going down that narrow road. Okay, part of the dangers that are set before the kingdom. But what? But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned, and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. Basically, keep the same energy. All right, the same spirit that brought you into this truth. Stick with that spirit and endure unto the end, knowing that this is the truth, knowing who you learned it from. Okay, knowing the true names of the Heavenly Father. It's like the Heavenly Father and His Son. Okay, keep that with you, and continue thou in what you've learned. That's how you're gonna make it across that path. If you started walking on that path a certain kind of way, and that's what's helping you go across, don't change your stance. Don't change your no. Keep going that same way, one step at a time, and that's how you make it across. Okay, so that's it. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. Mainly, this is really why the Lord is bringing out all these bugged out philosophies to mark people, to deceive people, so He can destroy them. Okay, but to make the truth scarce. All right, and that's how valuable it is, man. And real soon, this whole world is about to see it. Okay, but Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Machakodash, and Shalom.